This is Hangar 316. Give me 5 minutes. What is faith? I'm reading from the New King James Version and Hebrews chapter 11, verses 1 through 3. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good testimony. By faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of God, so that the things which are seen were not made of things which are visible. For Christians, Hebrews 11:1, one of the more popular, best-known verses in the New Testament. It is used extensively in the name-it-claim-it prosperity gospel realm, but certainly quoted equally as much in more mainstream evangelical churches. For just a few short verses later, in Hebrews 11:6, we read, "Without faith, it is impossible to please God." So faith is essential. It's necessary. It's what we must have to believe and please God. So, belief equals faith? Is that what the author of Hebrews is trying to tell us? Well, not quite. If it were, he would have said maybe something like this instead. Now, faith is simply believing in things hoped for. I'm kind of crossing my fingers in things not seen. The English Standard Version translates the opening verses of Hebrews 11 like this. Now, faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. Notice the words here translated in a more contemporary version, but still carrying the same level of gravitas. Substance, assurance, both accurately translated out of the Greek. Evidence, conviction, again, both supported by the Greek. Regarding a definition of faith, we have this from the volume Word Studies in the New Testament. Faith apprehends as a real fact what is not revealed to the senses. It rests on that fact, acts upon it, and is upheld by it in the face of all that seems to contradict it. Faith is a real seeing. Back to our reading now, where I think verse 3 is a real key to what the writer of Hebrews is trying to convey regarding what faith really is. Here it is again. By faith we understand that the universe was created by the word of God, so that what is seen was not made out of things that are visible. As the commentator that we just referenced stated, faith is a real seeing. The invisible made the visible. By faith, we understand that that is the case. And how do we know? Because the visible proves it. You might argue this as circular reasoning, but why would we even have a sense of the invisible, the spiritual, if all that there is the visible material world? The accounts that the author of Hebrews provides of Abel, Enoch, Noah, and Abraham are his proofs that faith is substantiated. As it says in the Authorized Version, it is the substance of things hoped for. Faith is not what the new atheists claim it to be. It's not a blind, unsubstantiated believing. Instead, it's grounded believing, a looking back at their lives and their faith, where the author of Hebrews shows us that what has transpired, the evidence, testifies of the invisible, that what God called them to be assured of by faith was so. Reading a brief bit of commentary recently from St. Augustine, and I was struck by one sentence that might seem clouded by the overall reference from this early church father. It reads, "Oh, what an expression has he used in saying, an evidence of things not seen. For we say there is evidence in the case of things that are very plain." In a world leaning more and more to scientific naturalism, justified faith in a supernatural is proven real by all of the evidence in the natural. Though Richard Dawkins would argue in his book, The Blind Watchmaker, that all that we see has come to be simply by chance, all of the evidence to the contrary points to the fact that every watch, the evidence that we have, is the assurance of a majestic watchmaker who we apprehend by faith. This is Hanger 316. Give me 5 minutes. What is faith?